We built two ultra-intelligent baseball AIs to settle who's the modern MLB GOAT. One champions Shohei Ohtani's two-way domination, the other backs Aaron Judge's record-smashing power. 5 neutral AI judges are scoring every claim on 10 criteria, feeding a live scoreboard that promises jaw-dropping numbers and a shocking final verdict. You won't believe some of the statements and the claims made, so let's see them. First pitch, historical dominance. Which superstar's feats rewrite baseball's record books?
Shohei Ohtani is the GOAT, period. He's a once-in-a-century two-way unicorn doing what nobody else can. In 2021, he blasted 46 home runs and stole 26 bases while posting a 3.18 ERA with 156 strikeouts on the mound. That's not a season. That's 2 All-Stars in one body. You want record books? Ohtani became the first player ever to throw a 100-plus miles per hour pitch and hit a 110-plus miles per hour homer in the same inning. He routinely crushes 450-foot bombs and then fans batters with 100 miles per hour heat. Babe Ruth did some of that a century ago, but even the Bambino never dominated both roles simultaneously like this. Ohtani's 2023 was even crazier. 304 average, 44 home runs, 1.066 OPS at the plate, and a 3.14 ERA, 167 Ks pitching. The man was AL MVP in 2021 and 2023, unanimously both times. 2 MVPs in 3 years. Judge has 1, greatest of his generation. It's not close. Shohei is literally changing the game while others just play it.
Aaron Judge is the GOAT, full stop. You want unprecedented? How about 62 home runs in a season, breaking an American League record that stood for 61 years? In 2022, Judge nearly won the Triple Crown, hitting .311 with 131 RBIs and leading the entire MLB with a .211 OPS+. That's 111% above league average. He's not a two-way novelty act. He's a one-man offensive army. Judge carried the most storied franchise in baseball on his back. When he broke that home run record, he wasn't just padding stats, he was dragging the Yankees to the postseason. And talk about historic pace. He has 240-plus hours in his first 8 seasons, despite injuries. He's 6 feet 7 inches of pure power, and yet agile enough to play Gold Glove caliber defense in the outfield, robbing homers with Spider-Man leaps. Records? Judge set the Yankees' single-season home run mark, beating Maris and Ruth. He's so feared that teams practically stop pitching to him, and he still clubs baseballs into orbit. Sure, Ohtani is a great story, but Judge is a traditional titan. When you think home run king of this era, you think Aaron Judge. He's not splitting focus between pitching and hitting. He's perfecting the craft that wins games, crushing the ball, and driving in runs.
Both sides coming out swinging with historic milestones. The judges are crunching numbers. Who takes an early lead? Attention, please. Baseball history is being written in real time, and so is this debate. Subscribe so you don't miss these AI battles and can judge alongside us in the next round. Next up, raw power versus all-around value. Who truly contributes more to their team's wins?
Ohtani's value is off the charts. Literally, he broke the measurement. He delivers elite WAR from 2 roster spots at once. In 2023, he racked up 10-plus wins above replacement. Basically, 2 MVP-caliber players fused. Judge had a historic 10.6 WAR in 2022. Amazing. But that was just with his bat and glove. Ohtani approaches that with his bat alone and then adds another 5-plus WAR on the mound. It's like having an ace pitcher and a cleanup hitter in one superstar. He led the AL in homers, 44, last year, while also striking out more batters than many teams' #1 starters. Think about that. You get offense and defense via pitching at MVP levels. When Ohtani's on the mound, the Angels effectively had a DH who hit 44 home runs and a pitcher who held opponents to a 1.84 average. And about power. Don't sleep on it. Ohtani's max exit velocity is 119.1 miles per hour, rivaling Judge's best. He's one of only 6 players ever to hit a ball 119 plus miles per hour, a club that includes Judge. So, while Judge hits the hardest homers, Ohtani is right behind, and Ohtani's homers come with 10 strikeout performances attached. You call Judge a one-man army? Ohtani is a one-man army with dual wielding. If value is about doing whatever it takes to win, a guy who can win a game with a shutout one day and a 3-homer burst the next is as valuable as it gets.
Value isn't just about number crunching. It's about impact when it counts. Aaron Judge's impact is measured in wins and October moments, not just where are. Sure, Ohtani piles up stats, but what's the point if those stats don't push your team above .500? Judge's 62 homers weren't empty numbers, they were game-winning blasts and late-inning heroics. He led MLB in win probability, added in 2022. You could feel the entire stadium's confidence surge when he stepped in. Meanwhile, Ohtani's Angels haven't even had a winning record with him. Ouch! You can't blame one player for a whole team, but a true GOAT elevates everyone around them. Judge's Yankees made the playoffs in 5 of his 7 full seasons. The guy is a catalyst for winning culture. He's also the captain of the Yankees, the first since Jeter, which speaks volumes about leadership and clubhouse impact. That intangible leadership doesn't show up in WAR calculations, but it shows up in crunch time. And while Ohtani's WAR is split between pitching and hitting, guess what happens if his arm is sore or his bat slumps? The whole value proposition collapses. Judge focuses on what matters: consistent offensive destruction and team leadership. He's the guy hitting a 3-run jack in the 9th to turn a loss into a win. Value? Judge's value is laser-focused on winning. All of Ohtani's versatility is great, but baseball history remembers champions and clutch legends, not just stat stuffers.
Wow. Team impact versus versatility. Can the numbers capture clutch aura? The judges are ready to weigh in on overall value. The score just flipped. Ohtani's side nudges ahead on the strength of sheer numbers. But this GOAT debate is just warming up, and the next inning gets personal. Don't blink now. The judges are about to drop a bomb. Third topic: consistency and durability. Who can sustain greatness and deliver year after year?
Shohei's brilliance isn't a one-year wonder. He's shown he can adjust and excel. After his 2021 MVP explosion, some skeptics yelled, "Fluke." He answered by nearly repeating the feat in 2022. 34 hours, 2.33 ERA, adding a new slider, and upping his strikeouts. Then 2023, another MVP with even better hitting. Consistency. Ohtani became the first player ever with 3 straight 30-plus home run, 150-plus strikeout seasons. And let's talk durability. Yes, he had Tommy John surgery in 2018 and another elbow procedure in late 2023, but he still played through as DH and came back stronger. He led MLB in games played in 2022. Think about the workload. He essentially does the prep of 2 players. It's astonishing he's been this durable. He's smart about his body, adjusting his pitching usage to stay healthy. Remember, he skipped pitching in 2019 to recover, then roared back. Meanwhile, Ohtani's hitting actually improves, even when he can't pitch. Case in point, after his recent elbow issue, he kept hitting bombs as a DH until season's end, still leading the AL in homers. That shows mental toughness and consistency. Lesser players would have shut down entirely. Ohtani's also consistent under pressure. Check his World Baseball Classic performance. He literally struck out Mike Trout to win the title. Talk about clutch gene on a global stage. Year in, year out, whether the team is good or bad, Ohtani produces historic numbers. If durability is measured by impact over time, a guy who can dominate two disciplines for multiple seasons sets a new benchmark.
Consistency and durability. Let's be real. Aaron Judge has had his bumps, but when he's on the field, he's a force of nature every time. He's had multiple 50-plus HR pace seasons, 2017, 2022, and even when injured, he comes back mashing. Judge learned to adjust his training after some early injuries, like the oblique strain in 2019, and since then, he's been more resilient. Case in point, his near Triple Crown 2022 was followed by a huge start in 2023 until a freak wall collision injury. But durability isn't just not getting hurt, it's playing through pain and still delivering. Last postseason, Judge played through a busted toe, not 100%, but he still hit clutch homers. And consistency? Over the past 7 seasons, he's averaged an OPS over .950. Slumps don't last long with Judge. He famously makes quick adjustments. If pitchers find a hole in his swing, he patches it by the next series. And while Ohtani needed to manage his pitching workload, skipping starts, eventually shutting down pitching in 2023, Judge is out there in right field diving for catches and crashing into walls to save runs. Yes, those all-out plays lead to some IL stints, but you know he's giving 110% every game. You can count on Judge to anchor the lineup every season. Even in the shortened 2020, he led the team in homers. Also, consistency in big moments. Judge has 12 postseason homers in 44 games. He's not shrinking under the bright lights. Contrast that with Ohtani. We haven't seen him in a single MLB playoff game. Not one. Judge is consistently performing on the biggest stage in baseball year after year. That's GOAT level reliability.
Fire meets ice. Ohtani reinventing norms season after season. Judge steadily crushing through adversity. The judges are finalizing their durability scores. This is a tight one. It doesn't get any closer. Judge's side claws back a hair. This debate is practically neck and neck. 3 chapters in, and neither side has broken away. Coming up, we hit the lightning round. Rapid-fire questions on the intangibles. Which side will seize the momentum? Stay tuned. Lightning round question number 1. Postseason and clutch legacy. Who rises when it matters most?
You want clutch? Ohtani hasn't had the chance in MLB postseason because, newsflash, baseball is a team sport, and the Angels couldn't get him there. But put him on a big stage, and he shines. The World Baseball Classic 2023 final was essentially a playoff atmosphere. Ohtani closed out the championship game by striking out his own superstar teammate, Mike Trout, in a 1-run thriller. Talk about icy veins. He literally took on the pressure of a nation and delivered. Also, consider how Ohtani performs under daily pressure. As a two-way player, every game has double stakes. If he has a bad day pitching, it affects him hitting, and vice versa. And yet, he thrives, even on the days he pitches, which is like 2 jobs at once. In high-leverage situations during regular seasons, his OPS is over 1.000. He elevates with runners on. Last year, when Angels were on a rare playoff chase early in the summer, Ohtani went on a ridiculous tear in July, hitting 9 homers in 13 games to try to keep them in contention. That's stepping up when it counts. Don't forget, Ohtani also chose to sign with the Dodgers, a perennial contender, for 2024 and beyond, indicating he's ready to show his clutch in October. This is the guy who, if given the stage, could hit a go-ahead homer and then go out to the mound in the 9th to save the game. How much more clutch can you get than literally being your team's closer and cleanup hitter in a do-or-die game. It's unprecedented. The narrative that he has no postseason stats is a knock on the Angels, not Shohei. Just imagine Ohtani in the World Series. He'd be the one rewriting clutch records because he can influence the game in more ways than anyone.
Clutch legacy. Aaron Judge's reel is already legendary. He's basically the new Mr. October for New York. Need a reference? 2017 ALCS Game 3. Yankees down 0-2 in the series. Judge blasts a 450-foot homer to spark the comeback. Or 2018 wildcard game. First inning, he launches a 2-run rocket to set the tone. He has multiple postseason home runs off Cy Young winners. That's delivering against the best. Yes, he's had a few quiet playoff series. Everyone remembers 2017 ALDS Game 5 where he struck out. Nobody's perfect. But when you zoom out, he's one of only 3 Yankees ever with 10-plus postseason homers before age 30. The other 2? Mickey Mantle and Babe Ruth. Decent company? Judge's clutch extends beyond homers. Remember when he robbed a home run in the 2022 ALDS that preserved a lead? His defense literally saved a playoff game. Also, being clutch is about leadership in the moment. In rain delays, in extra innings, Judge is the guy in the dugout rallying the troops saying, "We're not losing." That stuff matters. Meanwhile, Ohtani's clutch resume is all hypothetical. World Baseball Classic is nice, but it's not October with the World Series on the line. And pressure? Try being the face of the Yankees with the New York media dissecting your every move. Judge embraced it. Even the pressure of free agency didn't rattle him. In the season he was playing for a contract, all he did was break the HR record. He bet on himself and delivered in a colossal way. That's clutch in life, not just in a single at-bat. Aaron Judge's legacy is being built on moments that Yankees fans will tell their grandkids about. Ohtani might get there one day, but Judge is doing it right now when it counts.
The pressure is on and these arguments are throwing heat. The judges are huddling for clutch performance scoring. Side B pulls ahead by a whisker. Judge's tangible heroics are impressing the judges, but it's still anyone's game. Lightning round question number 2, marketability and global impact. Who's the bigger icon beyond the stats?
Ohtani is not just a player, he's a global phenomenon. In Japan, he's idolized like a national hero. Think Ichiro level, but possibly bigger because of his unique role. When he plays, millions wake up early in Tokyo to watch. International viewership for Angels games spiked because of him. Merchandise. Ohtani's jersey has been a top seller worldwide. You'll see his number 17 in Los Angeles, Tokyo, and anywhere baseball is followed. He's bridging cultures, doing interviews in both English and Japanese, charming fans with humility in 2 languages. And talk about market impact. His free agency was a sweepstakes frenzy that broke news sites when he signed for $700 million with the Dodgers. The largest contract in MLB history, blowing past even Trout and Judge. Why would a team invest that? Because Ohtani brings on-field wins and off-field buzz. He puts butts in seats. Notice how attendance jumps when he's pitching. Home or away, people turn out for the Shohei show. Plus, he's expanding baseball's global reach. He was on the cover of Time magazine, dubbed Baseball's Greatest Wonder. Kids everywhere are picking up bats and gloves to pitch because of him. In terms of icon status, Ohtani's doing what Jordan did for basketball globally. He's making baseball must-watch internationally. Judge is huge in New York, sure, but Ohtani is transcending the sport. Even casual sports fans know that Japanese Babe Ruth guy. And with his move to a big market like LA Dodgers, his star will only soar higher. He's not just the face of a franchise, he's one of the faces of all sports right now.
Aaron Judge isn't just the face of the Yankees. He's the face of MLB for many American fans. The guy's literally a giant. You see him, you pay attention. He's been on magazine covers, video game covers, MLB The Show 18, hello. In 2022, as he chased Maris's record, nightly news and late-night talk shows were discussing baseball. That's star power. He brought mainstream spotlight back to the game in a way few have since the home run race of '98. When Judge goes on a homer tear, Twitter trends light up with "All Rise," his signature slogan. Even non-baseball folks tune in to see the highlights. Marketability? He's got endorsements from Pepsi to Adidas. He even has a section of Yankee Stadium named after him, the Judge's Chambers. How many players get a dedicated cheering section theme? And let's consider baseball tradition. Being the captain of the Yankees is like being royalty in the sport. That mantle carries enormous weight and visibility. Judge has handled it with grace and charisma, making him hugely marketable as the humble, gentle giant leader. Yes, Ohtani's global, but Judge isn't exactly local. He's beloved by a massive international Yankees fan base too, and he did a promotional tour in Europe when MLB had games in London, charming crowds there. Also, market impact includes how much a player's story resonates. Judge's narrative, small-town California kid, biracial adoptee, overlooked by many in the draft, now the king of New York, is inspiring. Brands eat that up. He's the guy doing late-night TV bits and kids' hospital visits. Shohei's amazing, but he's more reserved due to language and culture differences. Judge is front and center in media in the US, and that matters in MLB's main market. The GOAT of this era needs to be someone who lit up the marquee. Judge does that in neon lights.
Star power on full display. One side touts global phenomenon, the other a household name stateside. The judges will now score the icon factor. Side A surges back on top. Ohtani's worldwide appeal vaults his score, and this tug of war continues. It's going to come down to the final question of the lightning round. Last question. Historical context. Who stands taller when compared to the legends of old?
Historical context? Ohtani is beyond historical context. He's establishing a new one. The only remotely comparable figure is Babe Ruth, who was a star pitcher and then a star hitter, but even Ruth never excelled at both at the same time, like Shohei. Babe Ruth, 1918, in 13 wins, pitching, 11 homers hitting. That was remarkable then. Ohtani, 2021, 9 wins, 46 homers. That blows 1918 out of the water in modern integrated baseball against the world's best talent. If Ohtani retired tomorrow, he'd already be a legend for doing something that hadn't been done in 100 years. And he's not done. By the time he finishes, we could be talking about Hall of Fame in 2 roles. Historically, he's shattering the silo that players had to be either hitters or pitchers. Think about how we rate greatest ever. We talk about Mays, Ruth, Williams, all singular in their skill. Ohtani is singular in 2 skills. He might not accumulate 700 homers like the all-time sluggers. Then again, who knows? But the total contribution could surpass anyone. He's already the only player with 100-plus homers and 500-plus strikeouts as a pitcher since, well, Ruth. But Ruth didn't get to 500 Ks. Historical GOAT debates often get subjective, but Ohtani provides a new lens. If you could start a team with any player in history, how do you not pick the guy who fills 2 roster spots? Legends like Willie Mays or Ted Williams were gods of hitting, but they weren't striking out 10 guys in a game. Even someone like Bo Jackson, who was a 2-sport marvel, wasn't doing both at once in the same sport. Ohtani's essentially doing something more impressive than 2 separate Hall of Fame careers. Concurrently, that is unprecedented. In the Encyclopedia of Baseball, Ohtani's going to be his own chapter, not just another entry on a list. That is GOAT material.
Let's measure Judge against history. He's a 6'7" right-handed power hitter in Yankee Stadium. Sounds like a Frankenstein of Babe Ruth power. And Joe DiMaggio, right-handed Yankee icon, with a dash of mantle, size, and strength. Judge is very literally towering over many legends. He's bigger, stronger, and hitting balls farther. He set the single-season HR mark for one of the most historic franchises, passing Maris and Ruth. Historically, that's gigantic. And 62 in the post-steroid era is arguably as impressive as the steroid-era 70s. Judge also compares favorably to someone like Hank Aaron in consistency of power. Hank never hit more than 47 in a year. Judge hit 52 as a rookie and 62 later. If not for injuries, Judge might routinely be popping 50+. Historically, only a handful of players have 200 home runs by their seventh season. Judge is in that club despite missing chunks of time. Also, let's not ignore fielding. He's an elite defender with one of the best outfield arms. People forget he was a college center fielder. That conjures historical comps like Dave Winfield or Roberto Clemente in terms of big men who could do it all on the field. Judge's leadership places him in line with Yankee captains of lore, Gehrig, Munson, Jeter. Those are legends, and he's wearing that mantle now, which cements his historical significance. Sure, Ohtani has Ruthian comparisons, but Ruth won titles and had longevity. Shohei's story is in progress. We don't know if he'll have 10 great seasons or flame out due to the heavy workload. Judge is a safer historical bet. He's already climbing the Yankees' all-time leaderboard in homers, and if he stays healthy, he could be up there with Mantle and DiMaggio in career WAR for Yankees outfielders. When you are in the conversation with Yankee immortals, that's as historically significant as it gets in baseball. Judge isn't changing the definition of a player like Ohtani, but he's excelling within the classic definition to a degree that puts him in Hall of Fame company.
Both sides invoking the titans of the past. This is the final stretch. The judges will now score the historical legacy round and crown a victor. This is so close, every decimal could decide it. Take a breath. Here come the scores. The final bell rings. Time's up. The AI judges have delivered their verdict. By the slimmest margin, Shohei Ohtani's side takes the crown in this debate. In total, the judges scored it 47.0 to 46.2 in favor of Ohtani's unprecedented two-way greatness. But wow, was it close? Judges' camp put up a ferocious fight, and honestly, in baseball's heart, both of these guys are generational talents. Before we wrap up, tell us, who do you think is the current MLB GOAT? Sound off in the comments. We want your takes. And don't go anywhere. Our next AI face-off is right around the corner, and trust me, it's going to tackle an even bigger GOAT debate that you won't want to miss. Stay tuned for the next showdown.